And we don't do international live anymore. So we have got the bunny who is going to join us, hopefully. We are going to call the bunny on her 10 different Skype accounts. I always joke that Jaybird Wells used to have 15 Skype accounts. Was it Jaybird Wells? Who was it? Who is this? New number. She got nailed with that the other day. But we are going to see if we can get a hold of the fantastic star of stage and screen, the biggest star in the business. Don't believe him, just ask him. He'll tell you, Mr. Matthew Check. And we're also going to be calling Lena on one of her 10 Skype accounts. Hopefully she connects with us today. If she doesn't, it'll just be me and Mr. Check doing the damn thing, as they say. And I don't know. I used to joke that Lena had, like 10 Skype accounts. And then I looked it up today, and yes, she does have 10 Skype accounts. It's the most amazing thing in the world.
It's confirmed. I see it too.
I just don't understand. You have one Skype account. You've always had one Skype account.
Right.
It's like, what? But we have got Matthew Check with us today. You can get more information, MatthewCheckMusic.com. That is the official Supersonic website of Mr. Matthew Check, and he joins us today here via the magic of the old Skype-a-rooney, the old Skip Skype. And Matthew's got some new music. We're going to be playing it here in a few moments here on 990 WBOB and also Music Hub Connect. So you have been terribly busy over the last couple months. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, my friend.
Yeah, I've had a great time. I was out in Arizona. I was doing a yoga teacher training, not related to my music whatsoever. And I saw how beautiful it was in Arizona. And I decided it was so beautiful, I needed to shoot a music video.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I don't know if you've seen I Can't Dance, I Can't Walk by Phil Collins, but some of it shot in the desert and then some of it on a beach.
Yes.
And I was like, I was in the desert. I'm like, I got to shoot a music video. So I found this amazing cinematographer in Flagstaff, Arizona named Rene Rivas. And I hired him. We hit it off right away. We shot 2 music videos. One for a record that's coming out in August, and the singles are coming out this month in July. And then another music video for another record I'm putting out in October. And that one we shot with a 1964 Eldorado. That's right. I found
That's awesome.
And I got to be honest, like, it was so much fun, but it was really nerve-wracking. Like, have you ever driven a 60-year-old car, Jimmy?
No, I have not.
It's a big responsibility.
It's a big responsibility. That's great. You're
when
fantastic.
I got it, I thought it was going to be like really fun, but I was really scared. Like, we couldn't put the top up, and there was always, and like the old starter and the old dashboard. But it was so worth it. I can't wait to put this video out.
That's great.
And then, so real quick about the record. So the record is called
Yes.
So it's actually a record I did in 2008. And then it's just been sitting unreleased for basically 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and the reason I'm putting it out is because it was a vanity project. It was totally finished, mixed and mastered.
Uh-oh.
And I just got accepted to the Recording Academy for the Grammys, which I'm really excited about. And you have to continue to keep putting material out there to stay relevant.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so I'm really not going to have the chance to get back into the studio until next year, probably, for a full-length record. I'm actually in the studio working on a couple of songs right now, but like a full record, it's far away. So I got to put stuff out there.
Awesome. Well, I want to get to some of your new music here.
Okay.
We are going to play Back to Sleep.
Cool.
And when we come back, we'll chat a little bit about this, but I just want to make sure that we get some of your music on the air here, because I know that at some point you and I are going to get caught up in conversation, and we'll talk and we'll never hear any of your music. So I want to make sure we at least get one song in before we get the ball rolling. I'm going to put you on hold on Skype, and I'll be with you here in just a few moments, my friend. Hold on. It is Back to Sleep from the amazing Worth EP. It's Matthew Check, and it's here on your world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast right now.
Muhammad's doorstep, with the conscience fading into the ether, like a band of prophets on a magic carpet. Oh, that would steal away at the blast of a trumpet. I could blame it on the weather when I crashed into the sea. Oh, the tides for sure that ride me eternally. Rock me back to sleep, my love, 'cause that's the way that it ought to be. Back to sleep, my love. It may not be fate, it might not be destiny. Oh no, it's too late to tell you. I know that you're too far gone to rock me back to sleep, back to sleep. My honey, don't you know? Your resume says you've done the whole world saving. Downtown wine and cheese and your tango dancing. If your life were a week, you'd make plans on a Friday. Just like I met you, dozing off on the subway. Oh, if the nature of things would have its way, it would multiply my greed into the softest verse, velvet that any band could ever play. Back to sleep, my love, 'cause that's the way that it ought to be. Back to sleep, my love. It may not be fate, it might not be destiny. Though my words, they may seem empty, or to fill you up, you know. So rock me back to sleep, back to sleep. My honey, don't you know? Whether a pauper or a prince without a queen, I thought I'd be the moment this time. But I'm still a court jester, it's only guaranteed. The same old tale with the same old ending to tell. Though my words, they may seem empty, they filled you up, you know. So rock me back to sleep, 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 back to sleep. My honey, don't you know?
That is Back to Sleep. That is the incredible Matthew Check. And he joins today here on Music Hub Connect. And we are going to go back to the old Skip Skype. Yes, the old Skype-a-rooney. As we go back to the Skype-a-rooney, we have Mr. Matthew Check with us, and he joins us live here on our big program. And so Matthew, you have got just some really cool music. And you're such a nice guy. You're not a prick, because there's a lot of times I talk to some of these musicians. They have really good music, but you can't be around these people, or you love them and you're like, man, I just wish their music was better. But
I know
you're both. You're great.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. And you're fun to talk. That's really fun.
Yes. Yes. I got to get all my technology here because Matthew was looking at himself on Skype, and nobody wants to do that. He's here to look at me. I'm here to look at him. We're here to converse and have an interview.
Well, see, I can shoot from the hip. I have to look at myself. Fine, but I'd rather.
So Matthew, where do you drive your musical heroes and influences and things from?
That's a great question. From what you're listening to, it's older. It's me from when I was in my mid-20s. So back then, it was a lot of classic rock people, I guess, like Crosby, Stills and Nash, or the Grateful Dead, or Bob Dylan. But the songwriting style, it's interesting. It's not really evocative of any of them, and I'm not exactly sure where, like Back to Sleep, that specific melody and song structure, it really doesn't come from any of those people. When I write music, Jiggy, you're really like, I've got a melody, and I just kind of go with it, and I put the chords around it, and then the song just like comes out of nowhere. If you listen to some of my later work, that sounds so pretentious, but it's true because I am old. But the record that came after The Amazing Worth was a little bit more Bob Dylan or kind of country Americana, right? And then the Condessa Queen, which we've been talking about, that definitely sounds a little bit like Jackson Browne of the Eagles, because I've really been on a 70s kick the past couple of years. And the stuff I'm working on right now is also kind of 70s sounding. But back then, the record's it's almost 15 years old by this point. And I really wasn't.
Wow.
I was not even into the heart of my playing music yet. Like I really was kind of like figuring things out musically. So it's really interesting for me to kind of hear it, 15 years later and actually like think about it again, because it's basically just been on my computer all these years.
That's awesome.
Isn't that
awesome.
Wild? Yeah.
That's awesome. So you basically just, I'm amazed. I recently interviewed Dennis Kucinich, and he has been writing a book since the 70s. And so, with you're like, well, this has been sitting on my hard drive. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. It really was a vanity project. All the songs are written about, this girl I met. It was a very New York story. I met this girl on the subway. I bumped into her into the doctor's office 3 months later. It's a true story.
Wow.
Yeah, we fell in love. It was this crazy 6-month relationship that didn't work out. I wrote all this music about her. And the time was right. My brother and all of his friends in Pittsburgh were graduating from college, and they were all music people. They came, I was like, let's record this record. They brought all of their stuff to Philadelphia. We set all the stuff up in my house growing up, and we just recorded.
That's awesome.
We just recorded the whole thing.
That's great.
And it was like this magical weekend, and it was really awesome. And then, like I just said, we mixed and mastered it, and it basically just sat on my computer. I was like so sad about the breakup, I never even did anything with it. But I was also so much younger, I didn't understand exactly what to do with it. Because back then, unless you had people telling you to publish the song, or you have to like the earlier version of Spotify, right? Like you send it to a distributor, and I had no idea what to do with it. So I basically just sat on my computer, and then I got a job in New York, and that was it.
That's awesome.
And then like a decade later, with my most recent musical partner, Joni Leeds, who we have a record from 2019 together. She really understood the music business, and we put the music out there in a very professional way with a publicist and on Spotify and iTunes. And I kind of saw what you're actually supposed to do with music when you actually finish it. I didn't really know what to do with it.
That's awesome.
I know it sounds ridiculous, and that's why with the Condessa Queen from December, I did do it officially. And now it's like I've got these 2 albums sitting around, and they're finished, and they've never been officially put out there. It needs to get out there, and so I'm really just going back into the catalog, and I'm using this year to kind of put out what I already created, and then I'll get back and I'll do brand new stuff soon.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Well, that leads us to our next track, The Amazing Worth. Tell me a little bit about this.
Okay, so the title track and the song The Amazing Worth. This song, my publicist said reminded him of Levon Helm in the band, which I would really loved hearing. That really made me feel good because the band's one of my favorite bands. This song, it's about this woman named Josie, and we were going back and forth about being together. And I think at one point I said to her, like, I'm worth it, right? I'm worth it if you want to stay in this together. And so if you listen to the lyrics, it's very esoteric, and you're probably like, what the heck is this song about? But the idea is like the amazing worthiness of like trying to stay in a relationship. I think that's the heart of what goes into this very esoteric and linguistically somersaulting word that you're about to, of a song that you're about to. I'm
awesome.
so excited to actually put it out there in the world so many years later. And many years later, me and Josie were actually really good friends. She lives in Geneva with her husband, and we're friends. And it just goes to show you that you can be friends with anybody, even after stuff.
You can be friends with anybody. That's awesome. Well, here we go. We're going to put you on hold here on Skype. We are going to play The Amazing Worth, and it is Matthew Check, and he joins us today here on our big broadcast.
With my hands in my pockets and my winter wayward strut, contemplating strands of worry yet undone. From a landscape smile similar to one once owned, long ago in the east by this wandering veteran of cobblestone. But if you can't find an answer to a very simple question that'll keep a woman up at night, then I guess I didn't say it right. And all I should have said was that I really don't want you to go. If hearts agreed on a notion, they would conquer sorrow. There ain't no telling what the future's got to show, but it's coming around for a band sooner than an angel could portend, with lips as sweet as wine and noticeably worthy. Love is back in fashion in the here and now. Reminisce until you're tired of this lonely town. Busy yourself with the nerves that'll spread you thin, till the ashes of desire have been scattered to the wind. We used to translate the hours into what seemed like minutes, like something we were born to do, without anything to prove. And all I should have said was that I really don't want you to go. Oh, if hearts agree on the notion, they will conquer sorrow. There ain't no telling what the future's got to show, though it rocks me to the core, more than any princess could adore. A sleeping princess I, amazingly worthy. Of a try. You take steps forward and I'll go back. We'll talk about this and we'll talk about that. That's the way that it ought to be. Amazingly worthy.
That is Matthew Check, and it is the big broadcast, coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio today, also AM/FM, 247.com, tune in, iTunes, and of course you can find us each and every week at JiggyJaguar.com, KJAGradio.com as well. So we go back to Matthew Check. He joins us live here on our big program, and the fantastic Matthew Check. He's like a he's literally like a blowfish in a twine factory. This guy is terribly busy, and he joins us today here on our big program. And you can get more information, Matthew Check, online. So how do people get in touch with you on the social media, as they say?
If you like Instagram, it's very simple. It's Matthew Check. And then for Facebook, it's also Matthew Check. And for my Facebook page, it's actually like Matt Check 1.
Really?
But yeah. But if you go to my my brand new website, MatthewCheckMusic.com, it has the schedule of all the things that are happening, like the 2 singles that are coming out, the music video that's coming out, the album that's coming out, my album release. If you're going to be in Manhattan on August 12th, come check us out. We have this awesome band. It doesn't happen often. It's very difficult to get people to play together in New York. And right now, in this lull of the pandemic, let's all get together and actually be in person with each other, right? So Facebook, Instagram, and I am on Twitter, but I barely look at it. mcheck70, and then my website. Just go to my website; it's got everything. You sign up for my newsletter.
So it's hard to get people to play with each other in New York. Tell us a little bit about this. This is
It's just, I mean, listen, if you are somebody like me who wants to do it, you have to book a space.
okay.
You got a practice space. Everybody in the space. So you have to pay the musicians. You have to pay to get the practice space, and then everybody will come together for the show. And the venue that you play at, they take a percentage of the door. So I end up being the person who really ends up paying to play. Does that make sense? So it's difficult to it's difficult to corral people to get out and do things. And plus I'm getting older, and people, they have families, and it's just, they're very busy in schedules and things. And so it's tough to get people together. It's a shame. But it still happens, and I love getting together. I love playing music. I love playing my own music. It doesn't get to happen often. I think the last time I did a full band was 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I am super pumped, and everybody on this is going to be awesome. My brother, who plays electric guitar on both the songs you just played, he's actually playing on it. And it might be the last time we do this for a while, because he's about to have a baby. So he's going to be very, very, very busy for the next couple of years.
Wow.
I doubt he'll make it out to play again for a while. So I'm super excited. But yeah, it's a lot of, when I say it's difficult, I mean, it's challenging to coordinate everybody's schedules. And then you have to convince everybody to actually come out and see you play on top of it.
Yeah. You got
New Yorkers are so busy. So
you got to get everybody corralled.
Yes, that's how it feels. Yeah, I'm going to be sending a lot of Facebook messages. Hey, come to my show. Hey, come to my show. Hey, come to my show. It's going to be one of those months.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Matthew Check with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast, and you're listening to Matthew Check today here on 990 WBOB in Rhode Island, of all places. And also Music Hub Connect on the old Facebook. Oh, the Facebook, as Johnny Kim would say. And then we're just having a heck of a lot of fun with Matthew Check today. He is quite the fun individual. I will have to say that I loved the I guess it's your newsletter I'm signed up for. I got this newsletter from you several months ago. We had already talked about doing this interview, but I get this newsletter that said, Matthew Check is back. And I'm like, I didn't know he went away. So I'm glad that I'm glad you're making stuff happen out there, my friend.
I can't stop. I love to play. I love to write. And
I believe the bunny has finally arrived. Holy smokes.
God, guys, it's hot, and I'm on the side of the road waiting for my husband to get back to help me with the tire. So
Where are you?
Well, I was heading
Seattle.
towards Utah because,
Utah?
Utah.
Are you
Utah.
going to go be a Mormon?
No, Young Wicked's playing at
Oh,
Liquid,
Jesus.
Club Liquid or whatever it is.
What one of these? What? Matthew, have you ever heard of these? Have you ever had much experience with these juggalo artists, these insane clown posse, these
No.
these people that dress up like clowns and things?
Not yet. No.
I went to this thing that they had in Oklahoma a few years ago called The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop.
Holy this, if you get a chance, and in fact, I'm going to see if I can find that article. I think it was Rolling Stone or maybe the New York Times. I don't know.
Okay.
They did an article on the Gathering of the Juggalos, and they go take photos of this thing every year, and I'll send you some stuff so you can check out just what the hell the Gathering of the Juggalos is. It is, they always talk about how Texas is a whole nother country. Gathering the Juggalos is a whole nother country, Matthew. My God, this is the craziest deal. Have you ever had that soda Faygo? It's got a lot of sugar in it.
No.
It's crazy as hell.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God! We took our buddy Michael Nagy with us to this thing, and he got a photo pass. And right before the Insane Clown Posse came out on stage, they had all these people come. All the photographers went into the photo pit, and they all had plastic bags on.
What?
And he's like, I'm not putting that on. And I said, well, I know what's coming. But I said, to each your own, brother. So he goes in there, and they have these little midget guys run out on stage, and they all got clown masks, and they all got Faygo, and they start spraying everyone with it. And he's like, oh my God, this is going to get all over my camera. And he takes off. And I said, that's why they had the garbage bags on. Because they didn't want to get sprayed with cheap-ass soda from Detroit, Michigan. So, oh, Matthew, I'm going to send you some stuff. You're going to get educated on the Gathering of the Juggalos, my brother.
Maybe I can play it.
Hey, they might love the shit out of you at the Gathering of the Juggalos. That might be a party. Matthew Check at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
I'll play anything.
You'll play anything. That's right.
Almost with it.
So, Bunny, you are headed to Young Wicked.
Well, I'm trying.
You're driving. Okay, wait a sec here. You're driving to Utah?
I got the house with me and everything. Like, what?
Jesus.
Wait, but where are you right now? So, like, right now.
That's what my husband was saying. I was a little further. I had to come back.
What state are you?
I'm still in Washington, but
She's still in Washington.
I'm Oregon. I had to turn around because it's either something with the back of the. I think there's too much weight on there. So, because I bought new furniture.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right?
Lee, I was just out west, and in New York, you don't see all the cars that they have out west, and there's so many people on the road with trailers. It was really interesting. I wasn't used to it. It's really cool. Yeah, it looks familiar.
Good Lord.
It's cool.
What a
that's
circus.
The world itself, everybody with the camper.
Yeah.
RV.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun to see people just going. I was in Flagstaff, Route 66. Everybody was driving through.
I haven't made it there yet, but that sounds fun. Route 66. I'm ready for it. So.
The old Route 66 goes right through Flagstaff, Arizona, and I never knew it. It's really cool. And there's some of the old motels with their like marquees that are still there from 50, 60 years ago. It's pretty interesting to see it. Because from the movies, but I'd never seen it in person.
That's what he should do. He should leave the apartment and just go mobile.
This is a hell of a deal. But Matthew, I guess before we let you go, my friend, because hey, that's fine. You're out there doing your thing. Hell, maybe what we could do, Bunny. I've got to get to my next guest. Maybe what you and Matthew can do is you could record this on Skype on your end, and just do your interview with Matthew while you're waiting on your tire. Send it to me, and I'll put it on the website.
Well, I'm so unprepared. But we need to do that, though. Matthew, if you don't mind, I'd like to connect with you here in a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I am going to do this. I am going to jump off this Skype call because I've got another guest I got to get to who's holding. So you guys feel free to trade information,
Yes.
Jump off the good foot, do the bad thing, all that stuff. And say hi to the dog for me. And Matthew, you've been fantastic, and I will talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks for having me, Jiggy. Really
yes. There he goes, Matthew Check, the fantastic Matthew Check. Quite a hell of a deal.